Former crooked Chicago Bears defensive tackle Akiem Hicks has haunted Minnesota Vikings fans' dream for years, especially the way that he just puts Garrett Bradbury right into Kirk Cousins' lap. 96, you always have to find out where the pride of Regina is at all times. And this offseason, I was pounding the table for the Vikings to sign Akiem Hicks, formerly of the Bears, has familiar with Mike Pettin, as well as especially Ed Donatel, who's now the Vikings defensive coordinator. So just like un timeo, NFC North tour continuing on for Akiem Hicks, man. But it didn't happen. He's still out there floating as a free agent. But ESPN's senior NFL writer Bill Barnwell, when he was ranking the best and worst NFL off seasons of 2022, Vikings checked in at 17th best, by the way, which we got some issues, Bill. We got some issues, Billy. But in this piece, he talked about what the Vikings need to do next. This is what he wrote. Minnesota needs depth along its defensive line, so it wouldn't be a surprise to see the Vikings add a veteran piece in free agency or during training camp cuts. I wonder if they would reach out to Akiem Hicks or Eddie Goldman, both of whom played in a similar style of defense in Chicago to what the Vikings will run under Ed Donatel. And in terms of defensive line depth, I actually think the Vikings are going to be pretty good to go because even though playing a 3-4, an odd man front, left to right has been Diesel, Dalvin, Harrison Phillips, and Armand for Watson start at OTAs. I think the Vikings are fine depth-wise because Daniil is going to kick down at times. Plus, you got jumping James Lynch. You got Jalen Twyman. You got Tyree Stevenson, who I think could at least make the practice squad as a UDFA nose tackle. Usezi Otomehu coming in as a fifth-round pick from the Gophers as well. Julian Taylor, who has a lot of experience in the Niners organization, coming on over, can play multiple spots. So I think overall the Vikings' defensive depth is good, but you can always add more. You can always add more, baby. And Akiem Hicks, he's had a very interesting career. He started out in New Orleans. He had a great season with the Patriots where, I mean, you had Chandler Jones and Akiem Hicks on the same defense, man. Kind of crazy. Spent the last 6 years in Chicago. Now, problem is 2 of the last 3 seasons have been marred by injury, so that's one of the reasons why he's floating out there. Also, age is a major factor, but I don't think money is. And the Vikings, after they sign all the draft picks and top 51 offsets, will have around $7.5 million in cap space. I don't think that Akiem Hicks is going to command top dollar like that $5.5 million annual salary average estimate from Spot Rack is probably a little bit rosy at this point of the game. But Hicks, he's a veteran's veteran. He doesn't need OTAs. He doesn't need mandatory minicamp. Hell, he probably doesn't even need a ton of training camp either. But it is something to keep an eye out for because, like we said, even though the Vikings' defensive line depth is pretty solid, you could always add more, and things do happen throughout training camp as well as preseason. So it wouldn't shock me that Akiem Hicks is the 91st man on the roster, where he's just a phone call away, just in case someone's not working out or whatever. And Barnwell also mentioned Eddie Goldman, great defensive lineman for the Bears, who's still floating out there. Plus, Sheldon Richardson, man. He's just out there, where he re-signed with the Vikings after being cut by the Browns last year. I thought he played phenomenal in terms of this stage of his career last season, especially as the Vikings were marred by injury, losing Daniil, losing Everson. And he would fit in very well at 5-tech on this defensive line. His best season was his second year with the Jets, where he played a lot of 5-tech over there, made his only Pro Bowl. But we'll see. But Akiem Hicks. It just comes down to Akiem Hicks, man. Like, I mean, Akiem Hicks could be 55 years old with arthritic knees and just like been retired for 20 years. I'll just be like, this is the year. This is the year, man, that the 2042 Vikings finally sign Akiem Hicks. But, yeah, we'll see. Anyways, your thoughts on our thoughts. ESPN's Bill Barnwell says the Vikings should think about signing Akiem Hicks. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts, on his thoughts, on everyone's thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, it's Friday. Put a little something in the Venmo, a little bit of sweet nothingness, man. But until next time, Skull Production Value.